Hello everyone. In my last video when I did the resto mod on those toolboxes, it occurred to me that I have a lot of toolboxes around here, like I'm sure probably a lot of you do. Well, I need to somehow get these things organized because some of them are empty, some of them are full of stuff that I've even forgotten what's in them. So there's a story behind every one of them, but I thought this might be a good time to kind of go through these things and figure out how I'm going to organize things a little bit better than they are now. My drawers in my Craftsman box over here are overflowing. They're too heavy. I got to get some organization out here. So anyway, I thought maybe we might go through these old toolboxes together. Some of them are empty. Some of them, like I say, are full of stuff that have been there for years. I haven't looked in some of them for years. I don't even know what's in them. So this will be kind of like a tool haul in that respect. So let me bring you in a little closer and let's open them up, see what's in them, if anything, and I'll bring you a little closer. So hang on. Here we go. First up, we have this box. It's empty, almost. I'm not sure what's in there. I bought this years ago. I'm not really sure where I got it. I'm sure at a garage sale or something. The reason I bought it was because when I bought my first set of half-inch socket wrenches from Montgomery Ward's Powercraft back in the, would have been the mid-60s, it came in a case like this. Well, like Bill did one of his dumb stunts, and somehow the box got lost. I don't remember what happened to it, but I always regretted getting rid of that thing, and I thought maybe at some point I could fix it up a little bit and maybe look like a Powercraft, the original Powercraft box, and put the socket set in there. Never got around to it, of course. Maybe I will sometime. But anyway, it's a nice little box. I don't see any markings on it. Pretty well made. So anyway, there's that one. Next up, we have this one. Looks like it probably said Vermont American on it at one time. I think I probably bought this new. You can see it's got dust all over it. Pretty good shape. And I use this for like soldering, and got a propane torch head and some silver solder and some flux, stuff like that. Lighters. Looks like that one doesn't work anymore. Maybe the flint's gone. There's some like plumbing solder. So anyway, a lot of this stuff I don't need, may get rid of. That's all that was in the bottom of it. Mini butane torch, which is in here somewhere, I think. So, haven't opened this box up in probably years. So anyway, I think some of this can be cleaned out and maybe the box cleaned up and put to better use. Okay, next, this one I bought at a garage sale. It's Kramer Products, Gardner, Kansas. I looked them up, and what they do is they sell products for like athletes and trainers, I think, athletic trainers. I would assume that they put like bandages and that kind of stuff in here. It's empty. It's a neat box. I have a thing for boxes, you may have noticed, so I bought it. I don't know. This thing's kind of loose. I think it could be like tightened up. That's why I have this thing in there. So it's a neat box, but I haven't figured out what to use it for yet. But hey, I just buy boxes. That's what I do. All right. I'm kind of going in order of weight here. This one's going to have to wait for a while. It takes, it's very heavy. Let's see. Oh gosh. Let's go with this one next. Oh. Here's a Craftsman toolbox. I'll get it around here. Is that in frame? Yeah, I think so. It's a nice toolbox in good shape. I bought this one new. I don't remember when, but I have been using it for electronics work. There's just a mishmash of tools in here used to restore and clean up vintage electronics, solder and various screwdrivers, wire strippers, needle nose pliers, gnarly looking nut driver. Looks like I used a vice grip or something on it at one time. Couple of soldering irons. Man, that one takes me back. My dad took me to Sears and Roebuck in Waco, Texas. This would have been back in the 50s when I built my first Heath kit. And it's been going strong ever since. Sorry about that, I got interrupted. Anyway, I used this to build my first Heath kit with. It was a Heath kit model AR3 receiver, shortwave receiver. And I used that many years to started my ham radio adventure with that. Okay, let's see. More wire strippers, more soldering guns, soldering iron, solder, just stuff. Okay, so I think a lot of this stuff can be cold, except this. This has a lot of sentimental value to me, and it still works great. I use it whenever I'm doing any electronics work. So, there is that nice Craftsman toolbox. This needs to be gone through and organized, and a lot of the stuff culled. So, they're getting a little heavier. So, let's see, hang on. Okay, here's this little item. It's heavy. I'm not even sure what's in here. I think it may be air tools, but I'm not sure. Made in, I guess, USA, I don't know. This is, okay, this holds air tools, air tool parts. Looks like I took one apart at one time. Some chisels, spring for an air tool. This looks like a die grinder maybe. I used to work on cars a lot. I used to restore old cars and tear engines apart, work on motorcycles and what have you. There's a lot of air tool pieces here, bits I guess you'd call them. Air hammer, chisels and things. Some wrenches, probably for the air tools. Here's an air ratchet, right angle, 3/8. Here's Big Mama here. This is when you want to unstick something seriously stuck. It does work. I'm not sure why I have all this stuff. Here's the shell of something. Probably a drill or something. Here's an air drill. Pretty stiff, but I bet it works. An old shop rag. And part of another, I guess, drill or no, air chisel hammer. Okay. So there's that one. Some of this stuff can be culled, I think. I definitely want to keep the ones that work, though. So let me move this out of the way. Whoops. Oh man, I don't know if I'll ever get that back in there. Okay, let me bring you back when I get this taken care of. All right. This thing is heavy. This Craftsman toolbox belonged to my dad. And he gave it to me probably when I was in high school and got my first car. And I used this toolbox all through high school and college and my early years after college until I started collecting more tools. So I'm not going to do a thing with this. These battle scars are well earned. And this thing deserves to be cleaned up and preserved as is, because it earned every one of those battle scars. Now this thing is heavy because of the stuff that's in it. I mean, it takes 2 men and a boy to move this thing. So let's see what's in here. I rarely look in here. You old timers know what those are. It's a oil can spout. Okay, I'm going to take the stuff out of this as I go. There's a stud, engine block stud puller outer, I guess you'd call it, to unscrew studs that are really stuck in an engine block. Got to be careful, you'll break them off. But I used that restoring an old Jaguar one time. Spark plug wrench. Pair of scissors, like we used in elementary school. Have no idea how that got in there. I think this is probably a tire spoon of some kind. It's kind of pitted pretty bad. Now you see where all the weight comes from. And we haven't even gotten to the bottom yet. This says Dasco 609 5. I don't know, I can't read that. A punch of some kind, or it might have been a chisel, a coal chisel at one time. I don't know. It's a serious piece of steel there. I don't know where I got that. Sometimes I'd buy those old cars and stuff would be in the trunks. And you know, I just keep the stuff. A wrench of some kind. Another little stamped wrench. I got a bunch of these. Maybe I ought to clean them up and make a little collection of them. Piece of, looks like a piece of conduit that I sharpened and probably used for making gaskets. That would be my guess. This, I suppose, is maybe a mill of some kind. It's not a drill, I don't think. Maybe you guys can tell me what it is. My guess is it's some kind of a reamer. I don't think it's a reamer. It's not tapered. Maybe it's used in a big old milling machine. This looks like a reamer of some kind. Tell me what those are, somebody. I bet that'd be really nice if it was cleaned up. But I don't think I have any use for it. Big old punch. Croiter, USA, 491-78. Big old serious punch. It'd probably clean up pretty nice. Some kind of a piece of steel. Mushroomed out pretty good. I can't see any markings on it. You know what? There might be one there, but it's so covered up by rust I can't really tell. An easy out. Tubing bender. More easy outs. You ever break an easy out off? That's bad news. I have. I've done that before. It's you got to take it to the machine shop then. I don't know what this is. It's looked like something I made one time for some special purpose. Don't remember. Some kind of a little valve. Another big old, I don't know. some kind of a mill or a drill or something. It's big and heavy, whatever it is. Sharp, too. Brake tool adjustment. Drum brake adjustment tool. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's some kind of a punch, I guess. Piece of aluminum tubing. Have no idea why that's in there. Tubing cutter. I am not sure what this thing is. Wear safety goggles. Made in USA. It looks like some kind of a chisel. You know, that you would, like ripping up some flooring or something, or maybe a metal. Maybe it's to rip up sheet metal, not sure. Phillips screwdriver with the kind of a odd little thing there. Some odds and ends. That's an unusual little hex wrench there. Piece of wire, screwdriver, bit, and that's pretty much it. Odds and ends, another little wrench, and one of those spinner things for looks like a 3/8 inch ratchet. Whew. That finishes out the tray. This needs a good cleanup, and that's all it's going to get. It's I'm not going to try to restore it or anything like that. Oh my goodness, look at all this stuff. This is a puller. I think I have quite a few pullers. I got a bunch of in another box across the garage. Spark plug cleaner, which this is a really bad idea. Because it uses grit and a little motor in there to clean the spark plugs, but you never get them clean and completely clean, and some of the grit gets down into your cylinders, and you just don't want to do it that way, I don't think. Here's a brand new oil filler spout from Sutherland's, 99 cents. Sale price 15 cents. That's what it says. Here's a oil filter wrench of this kind. This is some kind of a cylinder reamer, looks like. I probably did that on working on a car or a motorcycle engine at one time, way back in the day. Another oil filter wrench. Another one of those kind of wrenches. These can be pretty handy if you're trying to screw or unscrew something really big. I have a couple of those. Here's another one. A big old tubing bender. Looks like I must have changed a lot of oil back in those days. Actually, I did. Here is a piston ring compressor for installing pistons in a block, engine block. This ratchets down, I think. This is a valve spring compressor, I believe, ratcheting. You can tell I used to work on cars a lot. Here's a seal puller. Handy tool. They work quite well. Let's see. Not a maker's mark, just some. It says made in USA. That's all it says. Some warnings, the usual warnings. Oh my goodness, look, another one. I mean, how many of these really do you need? J-Mark model number 1. Lube spout. J-Mark Quality Products, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Ken tool. This is one of those like all-purpose tools that you use for like if you want the plugs like in your differential, or you need to check the oil. You can undo the plug with one of these. Neat little tool. That might be kind of neat if it was cleaned up. Okay. Here is a distributor wrench that you would use to unscrew the distributor locking bolt so you could set the timing on your engine. Makes it easy to get to without having to go through contortions to get down in there. It's a very useful tool. Another ring compressor. These things were used to hook up your hose to where you could do a reverse flush on your radiator. They used to do that on old cars. This is a deal to where you could lap your valves in your car. Stick the valve on there, and so the rubber's all stiff now. You know, put some lapping compound on there and do it that way. Would this be used on a flathead maybe? I don't know. Anyway, there's that. Another oil filter wrench. Fram 164682. Made in USA. There's a flaring tool for flaring tubing. Another valve lapping tool. Rubber on this seems to be pretty good. I bet I used that on motorcycle engines. Don't remember for sure. Another tubing bender for like brake lines and stuff. Tubing bender. Tubing bender. Miscellaneous tubing. We're getting to the bottom of the pile here. Couple of square wrenches of some type. I'm not quite sure what those would be used for, but there they are. This looks familiar, but I don't remember exactly what it is. And I don't know what that is either. Some kind of a little fitting. quarts of pressed stone 2 required with temperature. And that brings us to the bottom of the box. Sears Motorcycles, engine tightening specs. Valves are shown in foot-pounds. Craftsman, torque wrench chart bolts. I might keep that. It's kind of a neat little conversation piece. And that, my friends, brings us to the bottom of my dad's old toolbox. So, it's now to the point where I can move it around without the use of an engine hoist. And I think I'll clean it up a little bit. Put some tools in it or something. But a lot of this stuff, here, let me show you. See if I can get over here. That stuff, a lot of it, I do not need. I'll keep some of it, but I don't know what I'll do with the rest of it. I don't work on old cars anymore. You can't work on the new ones with all the computer stuff. I'm probably too old to start with another automobile restoration. So anyway, there we are. I thought you guys might enjoy seeing all that stuff. I hope so. So let me get this stuff cleared up, and we'll wind this video up. Well, thanks for going through all this stuff with me, guys. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with all of it. I just can't bear to throw stuff away. But I really need to get this stuff organized, at least. Some of it is probably going to get trashed. Some of it might get sent along to others who I think might need or want it. The toolboxes, especially the one that belonged to my dad, I'm going to clean it up. Not going to do anything else to it. Just give it a cleaning. And use it for some of my old restored tools, things like that. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed going along with me on this little adventure. And subscribe if you're so inclined. Give me a like, and please comment. I enjoy the comments. I answer every single one of them. So, until next time, I really appreciate your watching, and see you next time.